Welcome back to the What Everybody podcast. What do you know? Jonny is back in his familiar environment. Thank goodness. Ryan and Jonny decide to ponder the angry dads out there, and later, via Indiana to Texas to California to Nashville, lead singer of the band Hillbilly Herald, Jimmy Herald. So fuck it. Sit down, grab a PBR, get angry with Jimmy, and welcome back Ryan and Jonny.
But do you have things to chat about? Because I don't. I don't.
It's funny because if we were out in public or if we were hanging out at a bar or going somewhere, like there's just random stuff to talk about. But whenever you're sitting in a room like this, it's like you have to think about what you want to say for a different reason. And sometimes I just don't have anything to say. Hey, start a podcast, dude.
I'll tell you something. Some side effects of this COVID shit are really, really weird. The actual sickness itself didn't kill me, but like my short-term memory, and like I smoke weed and all, so like I already had like a questionable like short-term memory situation, but my short-term memory is really weird, along with I still don't smell anything.
Really?
This would be the best time to be on that dating show where you're naked on the island and your balls smell.
This would be a good time to go naked and afraid, yeah.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't smell myself.
You wouldn't smell yourself.
It'd be awesome, you know.
That's weird. You know, maybe that's why there's nothing to talk about, because like I can't think of anything to talk about, and you're kind of not really firing on all cylinders.
Well, I definitely don't have much cylinders to begin with, and when you only have three and only one's working, you kind of, you roll with the punches.
That's funny though, because you're like Rain Man. You're a date guy. Like you have a good memory as far as.
It's really weird, man. Like dates. I totally. Speaking of dates and birthdays, Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Eagles, today I learned has the same birthday as Bill Hill, June 15th.
Who cares?
I know. I just thought it was cool.
And you say that I don't believe you. I don't believe that your memory is affected.
My memory is, dude, like seriously, I'll go, like this has happened a couple of times in the last couple of days. I'll go to say something and somebody's talking, so I'll wait. And then it's my turn and I'm like, I have no idea what I was even thinking. Like I was just thinking something to tell you, like while you were telling me about that. I was like,
like you lose your train of thought.
And then like it's just completely gone. You know what I mean? It's like nutty. It's nutty. I got the shits. That was not pretty, you know.
Dude, you want me to keep that in?
I don't mind. It's a true story.
True story. Just being my true self.
Well, it was weird because I was in lockdown somewhere else. So when I got back to my house, it was almost as if I noticed the side effects more.
Oh, when you got back into your comfortable environment, you're like, oh, this feels different.
It's like, oh, this is different. Like this shit's
could be jet lag too.
Oh, man, talk about jet lag. I get back from Europe, and within like 2 days, I'm flying back to the East Coast, and I just got back from Philly. I went out for Hugh's funeral, and man, my body's just like, I don't know where you're at.
So to make that make sense to people, Jonny flew from the UK to LA, and then a day later flew from LA to Philadelphia. So that's probably all contributing to why you're out of it, dude.
Yeah, my you know what I also realized is I lost 6 pounds during my 10-day stint with the COVID, but I've been eating like a mofo since I've been back. My appetite's back, so at least we know that's
Johnny's
good.
Johnny's off the diet wagon.
Yeah, but I gotta get back and get it. Oh no. No. We don't go back to 180
one-way
anymore.
ticket to 180.
No, but you know what's weird is like I got
one-way ticket to Fatsville.
Yeah. I get short breath when I overexert myself. Well, only when I exert myself. So like if you can see behind me is my drum set there. You can see it through the other camera angle, and I want to play it really bad, but I don't want to be like.
You really get like, so what's it feel like? What's the shortness of breath feel like? I mean, shortness of breath.
It feels like you just got done running. You know, like when you get done with your run, you're just kind of like catching your breath. Yeah. So like the other day, my girl and I were walking through the grocery store, and I wanted to get out of there fast. We walked out of there fast. By the time we got to the car, I was like straight up like, whew, man, I'm trying to catch my breath. But it's a normal side effect.
You still have these feelings, but you're not contagious?
I'm not contagious at all. I'm actually probably the safest person you could be around, because between the vaccines and the antibodies from the actual COVID itself, I'm like sturdy. I can't give it to anybody. Yeah, you know the thing is,
how's that affect spreading it?
Well, because I'm not contagious. I'm pretty sure that you're only contagious before you even know you have it. It's like when you get it and you're incubating it, is, from my knowledge, that is the most contagious you are, is at that moment. So that's what makes it even scarier, is that you don't even know you have it yet. And you're talking to somebody who doesn't know that you have it, and you don't know you have it. And then the next thing you know, now you and your buddy got it.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happened.
I went to a bar last weekend for the first time.
It's weird.
I did not like it. The only reason that I went was because my friend was closing her bar down, and it was like the last day of it being open. So I was like, well, I can't not go. Like,
speaking of food, if you want to Uber Eats from where you live, for those who don't know, Ryan, he left California for a little while, and he's back at in someplace outside of Pittsburgh. But it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. But that's where he owns a home, and that's where he's been hanging out, being safe out there.
Oh, this is mine.
Yeah, so my question to you is, being that you're out in the middle of effing nowhere, if you wanted to Uber Eats, A, what are your options? And B, how long is that going to take?
They have it. This takes a little longer.
I know they have it. I mean, of course. That's not answering my question. My question is, what are your options, and how long does it take to get it? That's the question.
It's the same as it. I was about to say it's the same as in LA. It's not the same as in LA.
I'm like, that's impossible.
It functions the same as in LA. You have your options, and it tells you how long it takes, and your options are the stuff that's around here.
You should be a lawyer, bro. You don't answer a question. The question is...
I just answered your question.
What are your options? Because you're in the middle of nowhere. And how long does it usually take?
Well, the only thing...
Give me
the only thing that I will...
And a time limit.
The only thing I will grant you, the only victory I will grant you is the options that I have are like, there's a lot of fast food around me, and I don't eat that. Ever.
Really?
So like, oh, dude.
There's a lot of trees around you.
Within a half a mile, there's every fast food. There's a Wendy's, there's a Arby's, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell.
Arby's, all right. At least you got some of the beef, but check it out.
Pizza Hut. Ice cream.
All right, so since I've been there,
Sandwich
the last
Factory.
time I was there was a Warner Drive tour when we stayed at your place on a day off. So
yeah, it's much more developed.
I was going to say they must have really developed it, because what made me think of that is that bar that you're referring to, that your friend's place, which I say hello to them, and I'm sorry, and I hope it was a good closing. But the reason I say that was because that was the only place to get food, really, the last time I was there. There was nothing nearby.
That was the only place to get good food. There's a lot more now. There's a lot more now.
I see that. You're growing up, bro. Your property value must be going up. That's good.
Property value is skyrocketing. You know what's funny is that I was watching TV with my dad, and that makes me sound like a little kid. Anyways, there was a commercial about California. I don't remember the wording of it, but essentially, because my dad was like, "Man, they must want people to move back." It was essentially a commercial saying, "California, it's okay. Come on back." Like that was the commercial. It was vague. It had no point.
You're my last great friend to leave here.
Yeah. I found a Yo Dummy. You want to see a Yo Dummy?
Yeah.
Look at these guys.
What's he doing?
His friends are holding a ladder, and he's climbing to the top of it.
In the wind?
And falls, as he should.
And hurt their friends on the way down.
Yeah. So his friends actually did the surprising part. They held the ladder properly, but the guy couldn't get himself down. He fell. Yo dummy.
Yo, I got
properly deserved
for us to look at.
And up next, we jump right into the middle of a heated exchange between two customers in the middle of a drive-thru at a Wendy's. The customer is filmed getting out of his vehicle and aggressively approaching the drive-thru window, demanding that they refund him. He claims that they had messed his order up, and he wants his money back right now. Let's take a look.
If you walk through a drive-thru, it never is going to end well.
I think he got out of his car and went back.
The double hamburger.
I can relate to this.
Is there cheese in hamburger? There's no cheese in hamburger. When you have a cheeseburger,
You can relate to this one.
If you have hamburger, you have hamburger.
Johnny's like, I feel you, brother.
I want my money back. I want my money back now, and I want it fast. There's not even bacon on this, and not onion on this, and not anything that I asked
How
for.
can you be so
This is
mad
such
about
a
that?
confidence. I cannot believe it. It happens every time I come here. I'm losing my shit because this happened the past 3 times I've come.
Wow.
Please be competent once in your life. Once. Take an order and fill
I
it.
mean, dude.
God damn it,
You're an
I pay
angry
more than
dude.
this. I want $10. You goddamn sons of.
Oh, this one.
I just what? How are you that angry over a sandwich?
Well, I mean,
Okay, let me ask you,
that.
because you have food complaints in your past history.
Yeah.
How do you get that mad?
When I get that mad, it's usually because it's my own fault. And the reason why it's my own fault is because, you should follow your gut. And sometimes I'll be like, they usually get it right. And the one time I always say to myself, they usually get it right, I'll go home without looking, and it's wrong. And then I get angry, but I'm more angry at myself because I should have fucking looked before I left.
Okay,
That
so
guy,
that's different though.
his
How do you
wife's
get?
fucking his best friend. Let's call a spade a spade. Something bad's going on with that
Yeah,
guy.
something's bad's going on in his personal life. How do you get that mad at somebody else, like, and yell at them like that? Dude, this world today.
I mean, it's a very disrespectful thing to do, I would say.
Entitlement.
Well, yeah. I mean, it sounds like guitar players.
Buddy. It's like I want to know what that guy does for a living.
Probably nothing.
That's why he's walking through the drive-thru.
There's a video I don't even feel like digging through it. I'll just give you the story. I found it on a public freak out. This guy freaked out on these 2 girls for wearing bikinis at like a lake. And he's like a real conservative guy. He's like, I'm religious and this, that. He's like, you're not allowed to wear these. And he fucking wigged out on these teenage girls.
What did they do?
Well, they're just like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm wearing a bathing suit. Like, whatever. He's like, my kids are there. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm on the beach and I'm wearing a bathing suit. So then I'm scrolling down the freak out thing and I come across this guy, the guy from the video, posting a video of his side of the story, which is just fucking ridiculous, right? And then I scroll down a little further. Oh, he just tries justifying that he's got kids there and they shouldn't be wearing that or this, that, and the other thing. But
they're going to see it on the internet.
Girls wear bikinis at the beach.
It's not their fault that he's uncomfortable with their bikini.
Well, he probably is. The problem is he probably likes it too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he feels guilty for looking at these 18-year-old girls. But then I continue to scroll, and then there's girls retorting. The 2 girls are on TikTok retorting to that guy. But the kicker is, after a while, I scroll down, and it turns out this jackass, who's a construction worker, there's a post from his job announcing that they fired him for his behavior.
Jeez, that's a lot of video activity. So you saw an original video of these people arguing, and then you saw
No. A guy yelling at these 2 young girls for wearing bikinis on the beach. You got to get the story straight.
Was he filming
they're
that?
on the beach? The girls are filming him freaking out on them. Like it starts with him standing over them. They're laying on the beach, and this fucking older guy, who's definitely could be their dad, is standing over them, talking about how religious it is, and they should not be on the beach wearing bikinis like that. They're wearing bikinis on the beach. That's what they do, right? Girls wear bikinis. Guys wear bathing suits. That's what happens at the beach. The guy's offended that his kids can see that, So they're videotaping him freaking out. And then I found the video a little bit further down the thread of him trying to explain himself. And to be honest with it, I didn't even watch the whole thing because I was just disgusted by the guy. Like, really, the nerve you have to get up here and even try to fucking explain yourself.
Yeah.
And then I scroll down, and then it's the girls, and I didn't watch too much of that video either because it's really funny that they're just like going back on that guy, and they're totally fucking like taunting him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you scroll down a little further, and there's a statement from the guy's company that he works for firing him.
Wow.
In public.
It's guys like that.
Well-deserved.
Yeah, well-deserved, dummy. It's guys like that are the reason that girls are uncomfortable around dudes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying
like-
I'm not saying in that case they were threatened by him or anything, but I mean, it was an altercation from a stranger. Like,
But I don't understand what a stranger. This is what I don't get, Ryan Harris. Is the right this person has, the narcissistic behavior to think that
Entitlement,
he has the right. Well, is it entitlement? I don't know what it is, because what's he entitled to there? It's like he's entitled to controlling somebody else and their actions. Like, I don't understand the thought process of, okay, I'm going to go tell those girls they're not allowed to wear a bikini on the beach because it offends me. Well, then don't come to the fucking beach. You know?
Yeah, that's a tough one to defend.
You know?
It just makes me think that guy has some sort of deeper rooted reason for being angry at seeing a girl in a bikini, like rejection in his past or something. It's got to be what it is.
Probably,
why else would you be angry?
Maybe that, or one of his kids is a daughter, and he's scared that his daughter's gonna wear a bikini or something.
Dude, that anger comes from somewhere. If that was my daughter and I was, taking a walk and saw someone come up to my daughter and talk to her like that.
Well, yeah. I'm amazed that nobody
gotta-
came up to the guy and was like, yo, fucking back the fuck up, motherfucker.
Yeah. My niece, if somebody came up and talked to my niece like that.
What would Dave do if that was...
Dad rage? Dad rage is a different level of rage, dude. You mess with someone's kid.
I get cat rage if you fuck with that cat.
When I was a kid, I was maybe 14. I used to go to the gym with my dad. And my dad has been in good shape his whole life. You met my dad. And
Nice guy.
yeah, he's a nice guy. Don't mess with this kid. We're at the gym. I go into the locker room. There was this guy that always went to the gym, and everyone called him the Energizer Bunny because he was one of the guys that would talk. It's like everyone, you always see that talker at the gym. It's like he'd come up and just start talking. He's like, dude, I'm working out, So I go into the locker room. He used to always talk about being a Vietnam veteran. Perhaps he was. I'm not saying that he wasn't. But he wore 2 knee braces. And I go into the locker room to get my bag because we're leaving. And he has his leg up on a stool, and the stool is next to my locker. Not in front of it, just next to it. So I open the locker, and he freaks out on me, saying that if that locker would have hit the stool, he could have lost his leg and this and that. And I have a disability, and I'll kill you. And if I lost my,
My response would have simply been, but it didn't hit your leg.
Well, also keep in mind, I'm a kid, dude. Like 14's not that young, but it was young enough that, like, if I would have had that situation
I forgot we were talking dad rage. Now I get to find out what Papa Harris did.
So my dad and all his buddies, like there was like a group of friends that would go to the gym. Like they're all in shape, capable of handling themselves, fellas, So I don't tell any of them right away because I don't want the conflict. So we're walking out to the car, leaving. My dad's like, what's wrong with you? Like, clearly something was wrong with me. And I told him. And he goes back in, and the guy had already left.
How do you know he already left?
Because my dad went through the gym and didn't find him, and the guy wasn't there. He talked to the front desk guy. The guy was like, yeah, he left. So my dad goes to the gym by himself for the next week because he doesn't want me there. He finds the guy. The way the gym was set up is you walk in, and you go down 2 flights to the gym, which is like in the basement, I guess it would have been. It was an old YMCA. My dad's walking in, and this guy's walking up the 2nd flight of stairs, and there's a little balcony.
And how does your dad know what he looks like?
Because the guy was there all the time. I told him who did it. My dad sees this guy coming up the steps, drops his bag, walks over, grabs him by the neck, and holds him over the balcony. Holds him over the balcony, so the guy, like backwards. And he says, if you ever talk to my kid again, next time I'm dropping you over this balcony.
That's a terroristic threat, isn't it?
I mean,
do I have to turn your dad in?
The guy turned my dad in.
Did he really? Did he?
Yeah, we had to go in front of the magistrate. The magistrate was like, did you say this to a kid? And the guy's like, yeah. He goes, well, stuff happens when you say things to people's kids. Essentially is what it came down to. It's like, get out of here. Get out. He said to my dad, he's like, don't do anything physical again towards this man. And he said to the guy, he's like, don't talk to kids like that.
Yeah, that's just creepy as shit, right?
Yeah. But the way that I know, the way that I know how that's the way that went down, because my dad didn't tell me it went down like that. A buddy of ours was on the treadmills, which were in the upstairs area. And he saw it all happen, he's like, I thought he was going to throw him over the stairs.
All right. We got Jimmy Herald coming up. Let's bring in Jimmy. Jimmy's the man. Jimmy, singer of Hillbilly Herald. Hails from Indiana, originally lives here in Los Angeles, but band is based in Nashville. So we're going to get to the bottom of that, and we will be back with Jimmy in about 28 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Plus 25, 24, 23. It was 28 seconds, Harris. 28, not 3.
I was just
28.
trying to, people aren't going to listen to us count down from 28, dude.
I like the count.
That's a side effect of the
28.
COVID. That's a side effect of the COVID.
I can count to 4, and it's 4 times 7 equals 28. See that?
Hillbilly Jimmy Herald.
All righty.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's coming in hot. From Hillbilly Herald, Jimmy Herald.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
There he is.
Jimmy.
There's the man.
Hey, nice hat, buddy.
He's you got unmute. You got to unmute. Jimmy.
Hey, nice hat,
What's
buddy.
up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? Hey,
Look at that.
from Elvis. Well, I took it.
All right.
Representing. You took
Smart
it from
man.
him.
I
He
took
said,
one from
I'll
Elvis
never
too.
see it. I said, I'll give it right back. And then I left.
So everybody out there, this is Jimmy Herald. Jimmy and I actually go back a long ways, as does Ryan. We're all part of the same Los Angeles scene now for a lot of years. And when we thought about having somebody on the podcast, we wanted to have Jimmy. Jimmy is from Indiana. He lives in Los Angeles, plays in a band that's based out of Nashville these days. And we're going to...
World traveler. World traveler, dude.
I never, you just blew my mind because I never thought about it. Now I'm all stressed out, bro.
What kind of frequent flyer miles you got?
Now I'm stressed out. I got all that going, and it's wild, isn't it? How shit changes.
It's kind of crazy. In today's world, though, it's that easy to do. That's the cool thing about it, But let's explain how this happened. First, I just want to say hello, and it's really cool to see you. It's been in a while. I don't think I've seen you.
You look great.
This is pretty neat. It's fucking fun. Yeah,
too,
absolutely, man. You as well. So tell us a little bit about how you ended up from Indiana into Los Angeles.
I think I was always kind of nervous to go to Indiana, to LA, because it takes a minute to get here. I went through Austin, Texas. I was in Austin, Texas first for 4 years. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
we just went back last, 2019 to the Austin Music Festival.
Oh, yeah.
South by Southwest?
No, the other, I knew you were
City Streets, what is that?
Austin City
Limits. City
Yeah.
Limits.
Austin City
That's
Limits. My girlfriend's stepsister is this artist called Banks. So she played it. So we flew in, and I got to see Guns N' Roses, of course, too. So it was great. It all worked out.
I thought Austin City Limits was like a venue. I didn't realize that was
It is like a TV show kind of hosted venue, but I think they took it. They're taking it. It's like their Coachella. It's huge, man.
Did you guys hear at Bonnaroo last week, Guns N' Roses was on stage, and there was a hard 10 o'clock curfew. They had Dave Grohl on stage playing Paradise City with them, and there was this guy, some guy's job was to turn the power off. They turned the power off.
Do you know who? Listen, you guys know who's doing that, putting that thing on is Tom Hoppa.
I know he's the booker for that. Yeah, totally do that.
Yeah, I wonder if he's the one that flipped the lights off.
No, he just booked them.
That's bad planning. That's bad planning, though. You telling me Guns N' Roses tour manager or stage manager or whoever can't give them a hey, wrap it up sign?
It was their last song.
Axl's not late anymore, so it's kind of cool to go the opposite direction, and to have them shut the power off, I guess.
But what's really cool, here's what's really cool. It was still coming through the band's monitor, and the crowd sang the rest of the song to the end.
Happy ending.
I saw them here last week at the new soccer stadium.
Yeah, down by USC or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you were in Austin. What took you to Austin? Was it music that took you to Austin?
No, man. I listen, music was always something I was really passionate about. And people used to ask me in school, because I was never good at school. And I remember taking the whatever the tests were to take you to the next level, or your SATs or whatever.
The SATs. What a fucked up test, I want to say. For the record, that's a bullshit test.
I did that
Good to know,
test.
Johnny.
I did that whole test in about 2 minutes and turned it in, and I went and read my hit parader in the back of the class.
Yeah,
thinking,
dude, totally.
Somehow, some way, I'm going to do this one day. But I never had the guts to do it. I never practiced. I wasn't that kind of kid. You know what I mean? I couldn't focus. I was really high strung. Anyway, so then I moved to Austin, Texas with a girl.
It's a lady.
Yeah, let's get out of Indiana. So we went down there. There was no intention of doing anything but drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, you're from Indiana. You're from Elkhart, Indiana. And the craziest thing about that is when I was a kid, my very first credit card, I fucked it up so bad. And it was a Visa. And the envelope that always sent me, you're late, you owe us money, came from Elkhart, Indiana.
Really?
I just thought, yeah, anyway.
Thank you for that relevant
One of those crazy
piece of
hillbillies
information.
may have known something, they may have known how to intercept that money somehow, because
Yeah, right.
my dad was he did these money order scams and robbed people and shit. Like my dad did that kind of shit growing up. So they're pretty
Don't
clever.
worry, I'll cut that out. We don't need any heat on us.
No, it's all good. He did his time and he's passed, so it's all good.
My old band got the key to the city of Terre Haute, Indiana.
Oh wow.
We had
I think Disc got that.
Yeah, we had a Cherry Monroe Day, and the mayor gave us a key to the city and threw us a party.
What does that mean? I've always wondered what that means.
I don't know. They threw us a party, and we had a few adult beverages, and the mayor's wife was drunk, and I gave her a piggyback ride.
Ooh.
Whoa. Wow, this got a little interesting.
That out.
The mayor was there, dude. I don't know. Anyways, back to Austin.
Key to the city.
You got the key to the city or the
The key to the city is a get out of jail free card. In Monopoly.
I didn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get in trouble. I think it just means you could do whatever you want to do, and they're good with it.
Hey,
That's awesome.
That's good.
Okay, so now we're in Austin. How do we get from Austin to Los Angeles?
We went to, when I went to Austin, I started taking these acting classes, and I got into acting. I don't know why in Texas, but I got into acting, and then, I met this friend of mine, and we were like, let's move to Los Angeles and give this whole acting thing a try. So we came out here to do acting. I've been out here since '99. I came out here to do the acting, and then,
how long were you in Austin?
4 years.
You were there when South by Southwest was really cool.
Yeah, it was very I remember going to it, and it would be 6th Street was packed, but it wasn't like it is now. It wasn't a show. It was really Soul Asylum was one of the bands I remember going to see. And you had to get a ticket, a special ticket, and people were actually there trying to check out bands and do something with it. But back then too, Johnny, it was a different. You could sell records and shit. If you found the band, you would make money. They'd take time and develop the band, and they'd make money off those bands.
And if you had a mailing list, you would actually buy postcards and actually fill out the postcard and send them to people.
Yeah, you know how to do that shit. You're the king of it.
Dude. Yeah.
You go out to LA to pursue acting. What was the step that went into music for you?
Well, I was out here doing acting, and there was this guy, and listen, I always dabbled in music. I went to freaking music school, guys. I never learned a thing. I could not focus. So I basically went and hung out with my buddies at the Atlanta Institute of Music. I mean, I got yelled at in class because I was trying to play bass back then. And I remember I stopped during one of the performances. I just froze. And the bass teacher, his name was Russ, I remember. He just screamed, "Don't ever fucking stop," in front of everybody. And I was like, all right. So I just started, you know what I mean? I was like,
Sorry, Russ.
Ever,
right? That's the best lesson ever, though. I mean, that's one that sticks with you forever.
I think I just used that not too long ago. But anyway, I was horrible. I remember my buddies would just get it, but they could sit down and actually do the work. I could not sit still long enough to focus on dots and numbers.
Dude, that's how I ended up a drummer, man. No lie. I tried guitar. It didn't work for me. Theory to this day, I still don't get it.
Oh, is it like an ADHD thing or?
Yeah, man. I was literally, I'm dyslexic. I can't spell. I can. I'd have to sit down and I can't. It's not my thing. I don't get any of that shit. Math, I know how to pay my bills. That's all. The only math I need to know. And
in the end, that's all that matters. In the end.
Yeah. Somebody owes you money. I know how to go get my money. Like, what else do you need to know? I'm not going to do any algebra when I'm fucking clubbing you. You know what I mean?
I never learned the math, but I can get paid.
Right? Then they did teach us how to write a check. I remember in like 6th grade, they teach you how to write a check, but they never taught us how to fucking balance a checkbook.
They fucked us.
So I moved out here, and this guy that I knew, Jonny and I, all of us, we know a lot of people. We were very social. I was out every night.
Yeah.
I was in the bar every night, so I knew a shit ton of people. I mean, I partied my ass off out here.
That's how you have to do it. That's how you have to do it.
So this guy said to me, "Hey man, I'll teach you how to play bass. You play bass in my band because there'll be a ton of people there." And I said, "I can't do it. I tried." He goes, No, I'll make it so easy you can do it. So he was just like, "Here's 3 notes. This is all you got to do." And he made the bass lines really easy. So I'm like up there thinking, shit, this is great. I'm like riding you know what I mean? Just riding this thing. And the shows were packed. And I remember I filmed one of them. Anyway.
What was the band?
Which band?
Serling. We were called Serling. After Rod Serling, this guy was really into Twilight Zone. So he wrote all these songs. It was great. He was really good. It was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was doing that. And then I was working at this bar and Slash walks in. And now you guys got to understand, Guns N' Roses, they're my Beatles. Like, they're the shit, right? Like, they're like, come on, dude. Like, I saw those cats open for Aerosmith. And
so did I, dude. So did I, dude. I saw
bought
that.
tickets to see those guys to 3 different shows. Iron Maiden, they didn't show up. They were supposed to open for them. David Lee Roth, they didn't show up. Faster Pussycat showed up. So my buddies were like, we're not even buying any more tickets. But I just kept buying tickets. So I was like,
Permanent Vacation Tour, man. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. He walks in the bar and I'm like, holy shit. You know, I'd met him when I was a kid, but obviously he's never going to remember. But anyway, we kind of just started talking, and then he came back again, and then he came back again. And then one time he came in and said, "Hey man, we should give me your number. Like, what are you into? Like, we never talked about music, because I was doing the acting thing.
Yeah.
I was playing bass for that guy, but he said, what are you doing? I said, I just threw it out there. I was like, I'm playing this band. He's like, oh, really? Like, let me see the shit. So I was like, I got this one video, you know what I mean, of me up there fucking riding the E string. Like, he said to me, I remember he said to me, you should go start a rock band. There's something going on with you. This ain't going to work, but you should find your way, basically. And I was like, okay. And so a light went off and I was like, whoa, like, he saw something, you know what I mean? Like, you're thinking,
Slash just told you to start a band. That's awesome.
This is the next big thing, dude. I just got.
So was he saying it like in the way of this band isn't going to go work, you should go do your own thing? Or was he saying it in a way of like, you got some kind of quality and you need to go
I think it was just like personality and quality. You know what I mean? Like, you got something, dude. Like, you could do something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I took it to heart of like, oh, this dude's telling me I'm a rock star and I should go do this. So then I just got obsessed with that. And I poured that energy, that acting energy into creating this whole Hillbilly Herald thing.
How'd you come up with the name Hillbilly Herald?
Well, that's my last name's Herald, obviously. And my dad was this crazy West Virginia hillbilly, who did all these crazy things. So I kind of just put it after him.
Took the whole redneck aspect. And yeah, can you turn away from that window somehow?
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside. There's a difference between redneck and hillbilly.
What's the difference?
Well, you gotta find your way on that one, but there's a difference. It's like slang. You know what I mean? It's like,
I like how he's like, you gotta find your way on that one.
You're on your own to go Google that one, but I'm gonna tell you there's
Texan. You know the difference between a Texan and a West Virginia, like Indiana.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, what were we talking about?
You meet Slash. He tells you to start your own thing. You call it Hillbilly Herald, and
then you were about to say the studio. You said something about going
in the studio, and I was going to play bass because I thought, this, and I wrote the first 4 or 5 songs on the bass.
Well, how did you find guys to be in the band? Like, how'd that whole process go?
This is a long story. I remember I would ask anybody, Jonny. I was like you, man. I was obsessed. Like, I was like on a mission from God, like the Blues Brothers.
Sure.
Slash said so. And I would say that to people. I was like, Slash said so, dude.
You said that to me.
Yeah. They would be like, Slash? And I was like, yeah, he said so. Like, this is what we're going to do. Okay, cool. Like, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? But, and it paid off because, after a while, people think you're crazy. They're like, there's no way we're going to get on a tour. And I was like, we're going to get on a tour. But I lost contact with him during this whole journey. You know, he got sober during that time, and that's a whole other thing. He was probably hammered. He was drinking and stuff back then when he came in. You know, I hope that's not too personal, but whatever. You know, he would come in. He was at a bar. We were at a bar. I mean, anyway, he got sober in his book at that time, and I lost contact with him. And we were doing, at this point, we were playing with you guys. We were doing the Sunset Music Festival, and we were pretty hot. You know, we were packing the clubs. We were doing our thing. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And the band's like, hey, man, you know, we did all this work, and we packed all these clubs. You know, we thought maybe, you know, we'd go on tour with Slash. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't have any contact with him anymore. So I'm coming out the movie theater one time, and this dude's having fucking cookies with his kids at the cookie hut. And my girlfriend says, there's Slash. And I threw her to the side, and I ran over there, and I'm like, hey, dude, I did all this shit you told me to do. What am I supposed to do now? And he's like, that's literally what I did. Like, my girlfriend would vouch for this. I like pushed her into this trash can. Like, I was like, what the fuck? You know, this is my time. So I went over there, and I said that to him, and he took down his glasses. I remember he looked at me, he took his glasses down, and was peeking up at me, and he says, Jimmy? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, is it good? And I said, man, it's fucking great, man. You know, I've sent him demos every once in a while. You know what I mean? I'd send him demos because one time he called me from Dubai. That's a whole nother story. So he says, are you ready? And I said, yeah, we're ready, man. So he said, all right, I'm going to have my manager call you tomorrow. We're going to start this tour in like 2 weeks. Can you do it? And I said, yeah, I can do it. And I was thinking, how the fuck am I going to do this? We didn't have a van. We went out and bought a van, got a trailer. Like, we went, you know, I called the guys and said, we got this tour. And they were like, you got to be shitting me. Oh, and then his manager called me. Jeff Varner called me, and he says, I don't know what's going on, something like that, or who you are, but, you know, you've got to be in Baltimore in 2 weeks to start this tour, man. Are you going to be able to do this? And I said, yeah. He goes, all right. Because, you know, they go through agents and shit.
Right.
Like, it's legit. Like, when you get a gig like that, it's like, I go to Cookie Hut, fucking...
Well, and the manager's calling the agent saying, yo, you're putting this band on, and there's nothing you can say about it.
Yeah, dude. Well, they took this other band with us. You know, they took this other band. It was the tour manager's friends when we first got this tour. And I was, you know, Johnny, I'm strict. I run a very tight ship, and sometimes it's too much. I'm too fucking crazy sometimes, I know, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, I can't.
Hey, man, I'd rather have a guy that cared than a guy who was a lazy ass.
I'm saying that's what got you there, though.
When we went on this tour, man, like, you know, I'm sure my guys, you know, they got to enjoy the shows, but I worked the shit out of them. You know, we rehearsed a lot, and we went out there and we did it, and I was like, you know, we don't act like fools backstage. We're not out of line. We stay out of everybody's way. My job is to come out there and get that crowd ready for the fucking star.
Well, you know what you just said is that you used the key word. It's a job, and you were doing it.
It's a job, man. You know, and I treated it like a job. And we went out there, and within 3 shows, I remember the first night, the other band was running up and down the halls, and they were screaming and drinking and you know, carrying on and shit. And I watched them. You know, they were 3 shows in, they were out, bro.
Especially if you're on a tour with a guy that just got sober.
Yeah, and we had the opening slot, and then it was them, and then it was Slash. And I remember, because, you know, he didn't know if I could pull it off either. I mean, he took a fucking huge risk, bro. He never saw us live.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did he ask you to come out with him without even hearing anything? He was just like, no, this is my buddy, and I'm going to...
Through those years, I was sending him demos and shit. You know what I mean? One time he called me from Dubai, bro. And he was like, don't call me back because it's too expensive, but your shit's good. Keep going. Click. And I'm like,
yeah, that's cool.
You know, he was probably like, oh God, I got to take Jimmy out. I told him to go down this path. It's my fault. Shit. Okay. Put him on the tour.
He's got to be regretting that shit by now, because I still hit him up and go, hey, you need an opener? You know what I mean? Like, and you know, and he always takes my text, and I'm like low man on the totem pole. You know, I'm sure like he's been nothing but genuinely fucking cool to us.
It's probably because you guys became friends and didn't. It's like the time when I had a short period of time where Scott Weiland would come to my local bar, and I never talked to him about music, and because of that, he just like kind of gravitated towards me, and we would talk and stuff like that. And it's probably the same thing with Slash, where he's just like, it wasn't based on music, and you didn't try to get something from him. You were just a dude that he hung out with.
I was doing what he told me to do, you know, and without, you know, with thinking basically I had it in my head, we were going to do this together. Like I got this dude who's in my corner, you know. Billy Ray Cyrus said that to me one time. I'm in your corner. And you know, when you're coming up, you don't know what that means. You think, oh shit, this dude's going to fucking make me a star, or help me, not make you a star, but help, or whatever that is when you're younger. We were younger at that
It's on
point.
your side.
Yeah. You're like, you think this is going to happen. It's going to change my life. But that's just the tip, man. There's so much work that goes into it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
dude, it's endless. It's endless. And that's what, you know, it's the one thing that like we would always preach about in Warner Drive, and I'm sure you do in Hillbilly Herald, and we do in the Mercury Riots, and all that other stuff, is that, you know, you got to have the willingness to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Because if you don't, the guy next to you will. It's like being a pro athlete. You know what I mean? If you don't work hard, somebody's always going to work harder. And as great as you are, there's always somebody better. And you always, you know, and it's, you know, that work ethic. It's a lot of work.
We learned that though, you know. I got a little indie deal right away from this guy, and he just poured a bunch of money into us and stuff. And we ended up hiring Tommy Clefetti from obviously Ozzy and Black Sabbath, the drummer, to come down and play drums on the record. So he came down and did the record, and we, you know, him and I became pals too at the time. And he would come to, let me show you how this works. You know what I mean? And he would come to rehearsals, and it was brutal, bro. Like, these guys would come to me afterwards and say, he shouldn't be talking to us like that. And I was like, hey man, sorry.
Oh, you mean he was like it's like brutal. If it's not good enough, he would speak out.
But I mean, that's what it takes that. Like, you know,
would he yell at you guys, or would he just be like, yo, dude, you suck?
No, bro. It was like so intense. Like, you want to fight him. He'd say shit. But you know what? And I learned, like, that's what it takes to, you know, like, it always makes the show better when there's an argument, doesn't it?
I mean, that dude played for Ted Nugent when he was like 17. Then he went on to Alice Cooper, and then he went on to Rob Zombie, and then he goes on to Ozzy, and then he goes on to Black.
Let me ask you guys this. Can I ask you guys something though?
That's a resume.
Let me play devil's advocate with you guys, because I agree with you. But isn't there a fine line where it's sort of like, you got to have that, but let's not forget why we started doing it?
I think you can bridge the gap, though. Yeah, you can be intense and get better, and also have a personality that's like.
That's what I'm saying, Ryan. I can't do that.
I love the.
I never learned to math.
I can't do it. I learned to mask. I learned to wear a mask this year, but you know, there's certain things I can't do. You know what I mean?
Going back to that tour with Slash, you said that you're the opening band of 3, and then the second band gets kicked off. What happens from that point on?
Or they got kicked off. Maybe they left. I don't know the situation. Yeah. What happened from then is you know, he came to us. I remember where we were in Mississippi, and he said, "You got to do 45 minutes tonight." And I was like, "We're ready, bro. We were ready.
Yeah.
Like, we were ready for."
So you got direct support. You moved right up to direct support.
Yeah, dude. And it was like
fucking awesome.
In my mind, I was fucking ready. Like, we went out there and annihilated those other dudes. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it to be an asshole. We went to war and we won the battle. And that was, to me, that's worth all the arguments. Yeah, that's worth all the fucking didn't get paid for this show. It's worth all that bullshit. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, but you know what happens though sometimes is, you know, sometimes people in bands, they don't have the thick skin, and it's sort of like, it's the same reason why people drop off along the way. Some people just aren't cut out for it.
It's not just being in a band. It's being around people that, you know, you need to be a little explosive. I mean, who wants to go in there and fucking and not have some sort of, like, you got to have something. I need something to play off of. I need these things, you know what I mean? Like, I need to get people fired up. I need it, you know? I like it.
I can do that on the stage. I can't do that with my personality in life, you know? Like,
I can do it. And listen, only when I'm in, I mean, I have to say, I've stepped out, I'm sure a million times outside of Hillbilly Herald, but in that room, dude, I need it. I need a little bit of chaos. It's what I've always swam around. You know, my whole life was chaos.
But let me ask you something. If you've noticed that through the years, the Bandmates issue, wouldn't you think that maybe like, maybe the chaos, the others don't handle it so well?
No.
Well, is it an issue, or is it just a matter of...
If you don't want to play in my sandbox, bro, go play in somebody else. Somebody else will come.
I love it. Yeah. Hey, dude, at least you own that shit, dude. I love it. I do love that about you, man. You're fucking...
I don't hold any you know, there's no apologies. I delivered. I told you I was going to get you those tours, man, and we got them. Motherfucker, we got him. He got him. I went out and fucking hustled him. You know what I mean? Like, I came up I told you what I was selling. You bought it. I delivered. Now you got to deliver. This is what it's going to take to get it. This is what it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears.
Explain to us how this whole, like, all right, Hillbilly Herald, you moved to California, Slash tells you to start a band, you're out on tour with Slash. Now you're in Nashville. Like, what is going on there, you know? I did probably, I cut out a huge chunk of history. So feel free to fill in the blanks along the way to where we are now with Nashville.
Well, I don't think that there's really a musical, and I could be wrong. I don't know, but, you know, I don't think there's really that kind of community here anymore.
Nashville does seem to have a good rock thing going on there, though. I've seen some cool stuff.
They got a good community. Yeah. They got a good community. They have people that want to play together and stay together. Like, you know, Elvis told me this too. You know, you go see a show there, you watch all the bands. You don't go. Just
real quick, for those who don't know, Elvis from the old bass player Warner Drive is the current bass player and partner of here, Jimmy Herald in Hillbilly Herald.
Yeah, great dude.
Great dude, amazing. Love that guy.
We argue all the time, dude. I mean, we're guys.
How do you deal with all of Elvis's mistakes?
No, he's great. Dude. Elvis is
love you, buddy.
Yeah,
he's like a fucking brother. You know, it's hard. But him and I will go at it. I know you guys did too, because I asked him. I said, "Did you go at it with Jonny?" Because I know Johnny's good at going at it. Johnny
goes at it with everybody.
Yeah, he's good at it.
I'm the Jimmy in my bands.
Johnny's our Jimmy.
We would have fun. We just need to do something different than.
You know what the thing is, Jimmy? We would fight like motherfuckers, but we'd probably have more fun than anybody else at the same time.
It'd be a great fucking show.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and we would get some shows because we'd be out there hustling them. You know. Yeah. Anyway.
Two business guys.
So so now I go back and forth. I got these guys down in Nashville. What happened was I bought a house in Southern California. I was lucky enough to buy a house, man. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm good. I'm good. I finally I live where I've always wanted to live.
And it'll always go up in value where you have your house.
Bro, come on, It's the best thing I ever did. You know, but I was lucky enough. My girlfriend and I did this together, and her family. You know what I mean? We didn't get married. We took the money and we bought a house. Right. Anyway, nobody wants to hear that story. So, so I go back and forth because obviously, I just told you why. You know, so anyway, Elvis went there. This is what we're talking about. Elvis moved there. So he moved to Nashville. He's got a great house. He's out in the fucking woods. It's dope. Have you been there?
I haven't. I'm going down there in November, though, to stay with Chad for a few days.
So anyway, he went out or did a gig, and somebody saw him, and on the side of his amp it said Hillbilly Herald. And I guess this guy came up to him, who's now our guitar player, and said, "Hey, you know, I know about that band, blah, blah, blah." And I started talking about it. He said, "What's going on with the band?" Because Elvis, I play in it. "We don't have it right now because I moved to Nashville." And this kid's like, "Well, we should start the band here. I'll play guitar."
Oh, wow.
Here you go again. I get the phone call, and Elvis is like, hey,
I love that small world shit, dude.
Play down here.
Just when you think it's over.
I tried to quit this band at least every 6 months.
Never goes away. Yeah.
Never goes away. I can't shake this shit.
Yeah. Is that still the guitar player? Is he still there? Is he still playing? Oh, that's great.
But Jonny, I am very. After he told me that other drummer had a panic attack, I was like, okay, I got to chill out. So I did tell him, I said, look, this is how I work. I've explained it to the guitar player, you know what I mean? And I'm very mellow with him because he's a good dude and he works hard, dude.
And he's obviously a good player. I looked him up a little. He works a lot, it looks like.
Yeah,
he's always playing.
He's working every night.
You don't have to get on someone's ass if they're pulling their weight.
Yeah. See? Right. There you go. So it wasn't my fault. Anyway, the drummers
there you have it.
And I'm not around him all the time. I'm out here. So they're like, fuck him. He's fucking clear across the country. What's he going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the gift that goes both ways.
Do they rehearse when you're not around?
Yeah, I rehearse there and they rehearse there and I fly in and we do one and we're show ready, bro.
Dude, that's it's fucking, nothing. You know what? You got to love it because seriously, you get a 2-hour or I guess a 4-hour flight each way, but you don't have to sit there and do fucking like 5 rehearsals in a week every week, you know?
And I get to be here with Boots and Courtney and you know, we get to enjoy the house and it's a blessing, you know, however it worked out. You know, I thought, oh man, we're going to be rich and this, you know what I mean? But that's so stupid. I am rich, you know what I mean? Like I got good friends and, you know what I mean? We all had a good time. We all won.
This business is a crazy one because to really make significant money, the stars have to be aligned, right place, right time. That doesn't mean it still can't happen to Hillbilly Herald because you never know when it's right around the corner. You just never know,
How much would it have changed us too? Like we wouldn't be who we are today. I wouldn't be in this. You know what I mean? Like, let's not get crazy and write a fucking Sandra Bullock movie here, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like shit works out, and it's kind of nice.
What you mean is you take the path that's in front of you.
Jimmy, we like to play games on this. We throw a question at you, and we go with first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, so I'll start first. What's that? You ready? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. So. Right now, Hillbilly Herald is splitting its time between L.A. and Nashville. Shows in L.A. versus shows in Nashville. Go.
A good show is a good show. I don't give a shit where it's at. So that's just geography.
Do you see any difference? But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool answer. Yeah. All right, Ryan, you're up.
That's that. Thank you for the information. You've toured with Slash the Snake Pit, Steel Panther, etc. What's your favorite live show experience?
I did Slash. Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. I didn't do the Snake Pit, and I'd have to say, just like the Nashville and the LA gig, good gigs, good gig. They were so cool, both of them, and they were so good to us. Both those bands. I'm still friends with, the guys from Steel Panther, and I still look up to Guns N' Roses and Slash. But I would have to say, obviously, Slash and Guns N' Roses like the Beatles to me. So I think that the first one at Rams Head Live was just like, wow.
And that's Baltimore, you said?
Yeah. I mean, shit, I played the Wiltern too, so I think that was pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Wiltern's great. Yeah. That's a good one, yeah. Okay, so moving on. Hillbilly Herald is the modern day Spinal Tap when it comes to drummers. Who's been your favorite? Why? And you can't just say the new guy. Go.
Oh, I would have to say favorite people would be you and Louie were my favorite people. Like I love you guys. I think you guys are great people. So Louie, you know what I mean?
I love Louie. I still talk to Louie. He's a dad now.
Yeah, I know. He's my brother. And I think about him every time I book a gig because I know that fucker is up in Canada going, I want to do that gig.
All right. Go ahead, Ryan.
Next question. I don't know why I think this is funny. Johnny thinks it's stupid, but can I call you Yimmy?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, cool. Yeah. Awesome.
I like that.
Okay, you grew up in Indiana. What do you miss most?
My family. I miss my friends. But this is the thing, man, is like, I think if I would have stayed there, obviously, not even think, I know, my life would have been so different. I probably would have been in jail or prison.
Ryan, do you want to bring up the thing we always bring up? It's come up so many times about the leaving and going to LA thing that you always like to talk about. Oh.
About the monkey off your back or about how
the monkey off your back? Yeah, because the whole concept. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, two things made me think is that number one, you never have to wonder what if, but number two, whenever you return back to home, you realize how much you've grown from what you were.
I was going to say, bro, how much you miss it and how much you miss the people. And the people, like we just did a show there a couple weeks ago, and it was like I saw people I haven't seen since freaking junior high or high school, man.
So final question of the day. It's not really a question. It's more of a fact. But on October 15th, you're playing a show with a friend of the podcast, Dusty Bow. Where is that show? And give yourself a plug for it.
We're doing Tin Roof in Louisville, his hometown, nice. On the 14th. And then the 15th, we're doing the Basement in Nashville. Yeah.
Oh, I played there. We played, really? Johnny, that's where we played.
Is that where we played?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I played a couple times. I played with Steel Panther at Marathon Music Works. We played the End twice. And then this will be the fourth time, But I was going to say, my friend Kashina Sampson, she's really, you guys get a chance, and you check this country singer out. This chick can fucking sing and write songs, man. Like, it's just a matter of time. Kashina Sampson, I'm telling you right now, check her out. Anyway.
Will do.
She works at the Basement, so she helped us get some gigs too. You know what I mean? So it's I got a lot of friends in Nashville that are helping out. To get back to the whole Dusty Bow thing, I never really got to hang out with him because once again I was such a prick coming up. in the music world that he knew most of our musicians, and I'm sure they would go to him and go, "That guy's a fucking asshole. You don't want to hang out with him." So nobody really ever hung out with me. You know what I mean?
That's just the man. You'll like him. They toured with Steel Panther a lot.
Yeah, who did? Oh yeah. Future Villains. I gotta go to yoga. Hey,
fuck yeah!
I gotta go to yoga, Ryan. I would be running into Ryan right now.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right.
I used to see Jimmy. Because he goes to yoga where I used to come out of work.
Yeah, we'd always.
Oh, right there, Sepulveda and Van Nuys, or Sepulveda and Ventura.
15-260, whatever, in Sherman Oaks.
Ryan did our new logos too. Do you know that, Johnny?
No, but he also did the Mercury Riot's new logo as well.
Yeah.
I'm a logo making freaking machine, dude.
That's pretty dope. I mean, that's
I did the logo on your hat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's good, dude. You good stuff.
I did. Yeah, I like doing logos. I could do. I did that. No, I didn't do that. Sorry, Danny.
No.
Danny did that.
Hey, just steal the credit, dude. It don't matter.
Just take the credit.
Oh,
hey,
no,
Jimmy,
Dan,
thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah,
hey,
Jimmy,
taking
the time.
Ryan, Johnny, you're around. You should come over and hang out.
Yeah, dude, I'm back in town for a while now. Finally, it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Hey, when this is done, dude, we should all go to Europe. Even if it's a good vacation, let's go over there and play.
Fuck yeah,
let's all
dude.
go over there and play for these fucking people.
Yeah. Well, dude, yeah. We will talk.
I'm overdue.
I'll talk.
I haven't been.
Huh?
Yeah. What's that,
Ryan,
Brian?
you do it?
I was just saying I'm overdue to go. I haven't done a tour since 2019.
I think it would be cool to do it as let's just go do it because you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Fun.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's the one thing I've learned over this last year and a half, 2 years or almost, is that people just like that go and life just goes. And we've just lost a year and a half of our life stuck in the house. Yeah. I mean, granted, I think it was a great recharge and I got a lot done during this time. That's for sure, you know.
I had a good time.
All right, man. Jimmy, thanks for joining us. Have fun at yoga. Is it hot yoga or just regular yoga?
Heated yoga with weights with Marie K all day. Don't play. That's what I think.
It'll be fun. Sounds good.
That
sounds good. Thanks for taking the time, Jimmy. Appreciate it, man.
Painful is what that sounds like. Thanks, Jimmy. See you soon, brother.
Oh, yeah. Make sure that's in there. Maybe I'll get some free yoga. Later,
you got
guys.
it. Later, brother. Later. Ryan Harris, that was a lot of fun. Jimmy, thanks for joining us today on the What Everybody podcast. And everybody else out there, thank you for joining us. We had a hell of a time today. Ryan, I love him. I know he loves me, even though he sometimes might not want to even admit it. And with that being said, everybody, please subscribe, like us, do all you do. Until next week, we'll see you here next time on the What Everybody podcast.